During the Second World War, the front lines weren't just distant battlefields, far from it. For millions of people across Europe and beyond, the war came crashing into their daily lives, shattering the illusion that conflict was something that happened only to soldiers far away. The devastation of cities, the constant threat of air raids, and the ever-present fear of invasion meant that ordinary citizens had to become their own first line of defense. The war was fought not just with tanks and planes, but with sandbags, blackout curtains, and the unwavering determination of families determined to survive. They were also in the homes, streets, and gardens of ordinary families. Every household became a potential target, and every family member had a role to play. Children learned to recognize the wail of the air raid siren, mothers and fathers practiced emergency drills, and entire neighborhoods banded together to protect one another. The home front was a place of constant vigilance, where the smallest preparations could mean the difference between safety and disaster. Air raids, blackouts, sabotage, even the threat of invasion turned everyday life into a test of resourcefulness and resilience. People learned to adapt quickly, taping windows to prevent flying glass, building makeshift shelters in basements and gardens, and rationing food and water to last through uncertain times. The government issued pamphlets and posters, teaching citizens how to fortify their homes, spot suspicious activity, and respond to emergencies. It was a time when creativity and courage were as important as any weapon. But, what most people don't realize, is that many of those wartime home defense tactics still make sense today, especially for anyone who takes preparedness seriously. The lessons learned during those dark years weren't just about surviving bombs and blackouts. They were about building strong communities, thinking ahead, and making the most of what you have. From reinforcing doors and windows to organizing neighborhood watch groups, the strategies developed during WWII can still help us protect our homes and loved ones in the face of modern threats, whether natural disasters, power outages, or other emergencies. Today we're uncovering the forgotten WWII survival tricks that transformed homes into fortresses, simple, practical steps that anyone can take to boost their own security and peace of mind. These aren't just relics of the past, they're time-tested methods that can be adapted for the challenges we face today. Whether you live in a city apartment or a rural farmhouse, the principles of preparedness, self-reliance, and community support remain as relevant as ever. In this series, we'll show you how to adapt these WWII-era home defense strategies for your modern homestead or household. From building a safer home to fostering a resilient community, you'll discover practical tips and inspiring stories that prove the spirit of preparedness is alive and well. Let's explore how the lessons of the past can help us build a safer, stronger future, starting right at home. When bombs fell over cities, families quickly learned that protection began with preparation. The home, once a place of comfort, had to transform into a fortress. In times of crisis, the difference between vulnerability and safety often came down to the steps taken before disaster struck. People realized that their houses could be more than just walls and a roof. They could be the first and most important line of defense against chaos outside. Windows weren't just covered for blackout, they were reinforced with crisscrossed tape to keep shattered glass from flying like shrapnel. This simple act, repeated in homes across war-torn cities, saved countless lives. Even today, taping windows is a quick, effective way to reduce injury from broken glass during storms or explosions. It's a small effort with a big impact, and a reminder that sometimes the simplest solutions are the most powerful. Cellars became shelters, stocked with essentials and valuables. Families would gather underground, surrounded by food, water, and treasured keepsakes, waiting for the danger to pass. Today, a well-prepared basement can still be a lifesaver, whether you're facing a tornado, hurricane, or civil unrest. Think of your cellar or basement as your safe haven. Stock it with non-perishable food, water, flashlights, batteries, and a first aid kit. Don't forget important documents and a radio to stay informed. Preparation is peace of mind. Simple materials like sandbags and plywood turned fragile homes into strongholds. Sandbags, stacked 2 or 3 high, could redirect water or absorb shock from blasts. Plywood, cut to fit doors and windows, shielded against flying debris and forced entry. These materials are inexpensive, easy to store, and can be deployed quickly when needed. In emergencies, every minute counts, and having these supplies on hand can make all the difference. And here's the modern takeaway. Cut plywood to size for windows now, before storms or unrest ever hit. Label each panel so you know exactly where it fits. Store them somewhere accessible, along with the tools you'll need to secure them. When a warning comes, you'll be ready to act fast, protecting your home and everyone inside. Preparation isn't just about supplies, it's about planning and practice. Keep sandbags, or even water-filled bags near basement entries. These barriers can prevent floodwaters from seeping in, protecting your foundation and everything stored below. Practice filling and stacking them with your family, so everyone knows what to do if the time comes. It's a simple step that can save you from costly repairs and heartache. Your home should be more than shelter, it should be a shield. With preparation, planning, and a few key supplies, you can turn your house into a place of true safety. In uncertain times, the steps you take today can protect your loved ones tomorrow. Remember, the strongest shield is the one you build before the storm arrives. In rural or occupied areas, civilians often lacked firearms, so they built layers of defense, barriers, traps, and alerts, thorn hedges under windows, gravel paths that crunched when stepped on, strings of tin cans that rattled at the slightest touch. The modern version, motion lights, shrubs that deter intruders, driveways that can't be approached silently. Make your property a place where no one moves unseen. One family alone couldn't hold the line. Neighborhoods formed watch groups, signals were established, lanterns turned off meant danger, 3 knocks meant help. Everyone had a role. The modern equivalent, use two-way radios with your neighbors, set simple codes via text or light. Preparedness doesn't mean isolation, it means cooperation. Some families survived because they didn't look worth looting. They let gardens grow wild, left doors weathered, and hid valuables under floors or behind walls. Here's a bit of modern insight. Don't advertise wealth or preparedness. It's smart to keep storage areas discreet, silence generators, conceal supplies, and even park modestly. Sometimes, the best defense can really be invisibility. Where weapons were scarce, people improvised. Boiling water on stoves, sharpened tools, and strong doors provided deterrence, not aggression. The goal wasn't to fight, it was to buy time. Today, you can reinforce door hinges, install long screws and solid strike plates, and keep simple defensive tools handy. And let's not forget, a dog remains as reliable an alarm as ever. Perhaps the most vital tactic of all wasn't physical, it was mental. Families practiced drills, children learned not to panic, bug-out bags, yes, even in the 1940s, were packed and ready. For a modern drill, try doing a blackout night. Time how fast your family can move to the safe area, run your communication plan, and practice until calm becomes instinct. The forgotten home defense tactics of World War II were not written by soldiers, but by families. In the shadow of war, it was ordinary people, mothers, fathers, children, and neighbors, who transformed their homes into fortresses of hope and resilience. They didn't have advanced technology or military training, but they had determination, resourcefulness, and a deep sense of responsibility to protect what mattered most. Their stories remind us that true defense begins at home, with the choices we make, and the actions we take together. They remind us that defense is about foresight, not firepower. Sandbags, neighbors, discipline, concealment. These simple, yet powerful strategies were the backbone of survival during the darkest days. Families worked side by side, stacking sandbags to shield their homes, practicing blackout drills to keep their loved ones safe, and relying on each other for support. It was a time when community spirit and shared responsibility were as vital as any weapon. The lessons they left behind are timeless, showing us that preparation and unity can overcome even the greatest threats. These are not relics of the past. The principles that guided families through air raids and uncertainty are just as relevant today, whether it's preparing an emergency kit, creating a family plan, or simply checking in on your neighbors. These actions build a foundation of resilience that stands the test of time. The world may have changed, but the need for preparedness and community has not. They're the building blocks of real resilience today. By learning from the past and applying those lessons to our modern lives, we can face any challenge with confidence. Every step you take, no matter how small, strengthens your home, your family, and your community. Together, we can create a safer, more prepared future for everyone. If this deep dive gave you something to think about, subscribe to Survival Mode On, where we bring forgotten knowledge back to life. one story at a time. Join our community of learners and doers, and let's rediscover the wisdom of the past to build a stronger tomorrow. Your journey to resilience starts here. Don't miss out on the next chapter.